Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day. Well, guys, I guess that's what you call a workmanlike performance, a kind of job well done. Wasn't a great game, was a fairly awful game to watch. Wasn't the best performance, but it didn't have to be. I think that's the kind of thing we kind of have to sort of take from this, is it didn't have to be a good performance because Livingston were absolutely dreadful. They were absolutely awful. I mean, Jack Butland could have gone and sat in the stand with the Rangers fans for all that he was needed in the game. They genuinely were one of the worst teams I have seen play in a long time. There was just no ambition. There was just no desire to attack. It was like an attack v defense training match. It really was. I mean, you look at the statistics from the game, and allegedly they had 4 shots. We had 18. Allegedly they had 1 on target. We had 6. They had 31% possession to our 69% possession. They played 243 passes to our 534 passes. I'll be honest with you, they were awful. They were absolutely dreadful. The Rangers team that Philippe Clement named at the start of the game, I think, had a lot of evidence of rotation in it. Obviously, with the fact that they played Thursday night in a very tough game against Sparta Prague. One thing I'd say, though, is, rotate by all means, but I don't get the point of it when you've got an international break coming up and they've got 10 days off. Vast majority of this squad. I know Jack and is off with the national team, but I doubt he'll play. Barisic will probably play international football. But hey, I guess that's it. But I think you look at the back four. It was interesting that Balogun came back into the team. Philippe Clement certainly seems to be a big fan of Leon Balogun, doesn't he? He started the last 3 domestic games. It would have been interesting to see if Leon. It would have been interesting to see if Leon Balogun had been in the European squad, whether or not he would have played in Europe this week. Been interesting, that one. Barisic started at left back, which is a bit of a surprise to me, given the rotation of the rest of the squad, that Ridvan didn't get back in. Jack and Lundstrom continued in those holding roles in front of the back four. Then it was Lawrence. Good to see Tom Lawrence back in the team. It's a bit of a surprise Todd Cantwell didn't get the start. I'm going to talk a little bit about Todd later and why Todd needs to chill out. Tom Lawrence I thought was fantastic. I think for me, Tom Lawrence was man of the match. He was absolutely superb. Just the ball he played through for Searle Dessa's scuffed goal, was a fantastic ball. Ross McCausland was absolutely superb. He looked lively. He attacked. He had positivity. He won that penalty that Tav missed. He was great. McCausland was fantastic. I loved McCausland. He was brilliant. Seemed had a quiet game. Dessers obviously scored the goal, but was offside so many times and was to blame for the Connor Goldson's goal being disallowed because he was offside again. So yeah, look, I will talk about Searle Dessers in a minute, and I'm sure I'll upset the happy clappers out there. And there's a few of them. So the bench was McCrory, Ridvan, Cantwell, Lammers, Cifuentes, Sterling, Roof, Davies, and Danilo. So a strong bench with lots of impact on it, and it's going to only get stronger, hopefully, after the international break when more players return from injury. Got to say, though, the one thing I'm going to really commend, obviously, was the fantastic tribute to the fallen heroes, to everyone on Remembrance Sunday. That courage, faith, and honour will stand where heroes fall, with the display of poppies was absolutely superb, and a fitting tribute to those amazing people, who gave their lives, who defended our freedoms, and that I think to some degree this generation and the recent events in London, we've let them down. We really have let them down. It's sad, isn't it, really? But a real fantastic tribute to them at the start. So a game that, it started well. Rangers, I think one of the encouraging things for me was the fact, obviously, we had the Goldson goal disallowed because Dessers was offside. What a surprise. We should change his name to Cyril Offside Dessers, I think, or Fashion Dessers. Yes, it was disallowed. Then we had that penalty, which McCausland won, which we can debate all day long. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? I think it was a soft penalty. It was, I think, by the strict letter of the law, a penalty, but it was very soft. I've seen him given, I've seen him not given. And we missed that. Now, I think Rangers teams under Michael Beale, under Gio Van Bronckhorst would have sulked at that point, would have perhaps retreated into their shell, wouldn't have carried on with the spirit and the tenacity that they did in the game, to just keep on going. And I think Philippe Clement, the belief that Clement has given this team is phenomenal. And I think that was just, I think that really showed today, that belief they have to never stop, never keep going, and become realistically that machine that Clement wants them to become. Rangers took the lead in the first half. A superb pass from Tom Lawrence set Searle through, and he managed to stay onside. He scuffs his shot, but it still ends up going in the back of the goal for a 1-0 lead for Rangers. Probably the only good thing he did in the actual game itself. He was substituted on 60 minutes. Look, Searle he scored. Yes, I get that. And well done. Congratulations for scoring. But for me, he still is just absolute pish and not good enough for this team. He was offside a lot again. His movement was poor. His movement is nowhere near as good as Danillo's. And he missed, there was that chance where he was offside, but he misses that chance. He doesn't even work the keeper. It was awful, genuinely awful. And that is what he is. And, in a game where when you play against a better team, when you play against the likes of that lot across the city, when you play against, European opposition, you don't get many chances. Is he going to have the nerve to actually take it and finish it if he plays? That's my worry about him. I just don't think he's good enough for this club, and I think he does need moving on at some point, whether that's at January or the end of the season. Second half was very much a non-event, wasn't it? It was kind of like a game management. I think I heard them describe it on the commentary as a bit of a training exercise at times. Then we get the penalty where, is it Devlin just for no... I don't understand why players did. Haring did it for Hearts the other day. Why do you put your arm up in the area? I don't get it. There's just no sense to it whatsoever. I'm glad he did it, obviously, because it gave us the buffer goal that we needed, that we were struggling to get. I was worried that, that it was going to be a typical Rangers performance where we, obviously have the chances, don't take them, have goals disallowed, miss a penalty, and then they score, and it ends up as a draw. But James Tavernier does what James Tavernier does. Finally, in the game, steps up, takes the penalty, and makes it 2-0 to Rangers. And so lots of those three words that make those across the city melt down and their ears explode. Penalty to Rangers. Overall, it is a performance that, like I said, it was a job done performance. That's what it was, wasn't it? It was a job done performance. It wasn't a terrible performance. It wasn't a good performance. It was a very workmanlike performance. That's all it was. And Celtic, obviously, they won 6-0 today against Aberdeen. Aberdeen doing their usual, breaking up for the international break before the game starts and giving up to Celtic. I'll tell you something, after the international break, there is no way that they will be that pathetic against us. They will fight tooth and nail against us because they cheat their fans. Aberdeen are the biggest bunches of cheats in football. They really are. They're a disgrace. They're a disgrace to football. They're a disgrace to their fans. It's absolutely dreadful, which obviously leaves the table looking like this. Celtic top on 35 points. At the moment, they are 8 points ahead of us, but we do have a game in hand on them. Doesn't that look good on with Rangers as well? 5 out of 5 in our last wins. We've only conceded 1 goal since Philippe Clement took over. Absolutely fantastic from Rangers. Well done, boys, on that achievement. Absolutely superb. Good work, boys. So we obviously now go into the international break, unfortunately, which is going to be a bit of a yawn. Come back. We've obviously got Aberdeen. We've got the European game against Aris. Cup final to come. So quite a lot to come after the international break. On this, we will obviously keep bringing you news. We bring you the updates throughout the international break. We're not going anywhere during the international break. Well, I'm not going anywhere, as obviously I do virtually all the videos and do the vast majority of work for this channel. So obviously, please, if you can subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Love to read your comments. I am behind with. I'm struggling to keep up with comments at the moment. I've just got an awful lot going on personally. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. And as always, on the way out, 2 things, please, guys. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, please always remember, we are the people.